I actually kind of did a little wave at my screen, like, bye, Yaz. Like, you know, as in, it was nice having you here, but this era is ending, you know. And the same thing with the Doctor. Bye, Doctor. Bye, Chibnall. Bye, Graham. Bye, Ryan. It's an era. It is. And I think really when it comes to endings, we're not necessarily sad about something on the screen ending, because we might not even like that thing, right? I mean, we might like it a little, but it's really about an era of our life ending, if you think about it. That's what it is. Because this era of Doctor Who, with Graham and Ryan and Yaz and the Doctor and Dan, this era of Doctor Who started before the pandemic. We had a lot of people who were alive at the beginning of this show in 2018 who are no longer with us, right? We had a different president. We had I think this was a couple different prime ministers ago. And, like, the world was in a much different state when this started. Each of us was going through things at the time that we either have progressed now or we've just moved past, right? We've all got things like that, right? So seeing an end of an era is sad because shows are one of those things that's constant. I think this is why people get so passionate about shows. Because, like, that show is a marker of something stable in your life. No matter what's going on, you can still turn the TV on and see the Doctor and Ryan and Graham and Yaz and Dan in various iterations of that group. You can turn the TV on and see those things, even if you don't particularly like them. It is a thing that's stable. So when you look back on those things in the show, you're going to remember things in your life that you were going through at the time, right? And it's a source of familiarity. It's a source of stability. Even if it doesn't really make sense, it's something in your life that's stable. It's something that's always going to be there. And when it ends, it's like it sheds light on the unpredictability of life. We don't know what's coming next in the show, right? We're going to look back fondly on this because we're going to think of it as an era, not just episodes, not just characters. We're going to think back on this time as an era of what we were doing when the Doctor was Jodie Whittaker, and Yaz was there, and Ryan was there, and Graham was there, and Dan was there. We're going to think about that, right? We're going to be thinking about this era. And also not just the show's era, but also just being able to talk about it. You know, it's a source of community for some people. Even the outrage merchants, as much as I don't like what they're doing, it is a source of community for them. It gives them something to talk about. I'm not saying anyone who criticizes it is bashing it, just to bash it. But there are people who do that. There are people who praise it. There are people who love it, enjoy it. They like talking about it every week. They like talking about this, and they like seeing what Jodie Whittaker's doing, you know? And it gives people, it bonds us together because it gives us all something to talk about, and it doesn't even continue to be about the show. It ends up being about us and how we interact with each other. It ends up being about our own community. We get together when we watch this, right? Even if you watch it alone, you have people you might discuss it with on the internet or even in person, right? So that's what this is really about. This is why it's sad and it's bittersweet to have this era ending. But it's just like the Doctor said, right? It's not just about that person, it's about what's coming next. And indeed, Jodie Whittaker also has said that too. And she's right. It's not just about the Doctor, it's about what comes next. And as much as we might not like to have this era end, this era of Doctor Who is going to give way to a new era of Doctor Who where we form new memories and new friends. And just like Doctor Who, we're going to have old friends come together along the way, and we're going to talk about that too. We're going to have old friends come along to enjoy this new era with us. It's the birth of a new era, right? And that's what needs to happen. So whatever happens next with the show, I'm glad to have watched this. And as much as I've complained about this episode and this series and this showrunner, I'm glad I was here for it. I'm glad you all were here for it, everyone who's listening to this. And I'm going to be excited to see what comes next. So that's where I think I'm going to end this. Thank you all for listening, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye.